So much. So we now want to open for questions. So we start in this side. If there is any question for the panel, please. So we will collect questions and then we let them answer for 2 minutes each. Yes, in the back. Just press the...
Thank you. My name is Dorothy Ifa, Minister of Food and Agriculture, Ghana. My question goes to EcoBank. I would like to find out from you, because quite often we hear that the banks don't want to lend to agriculture because of the high risks involved. And I want to find out from you, as you are saying that you are involved in that, whether you've been able to recover from lending to agriculture, and what percentage of your investment goes into agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question on this side? No questions? Last chance? Okay, in the middle, any question? Yes.
Ok, merci beaucoup. Ma question s'adresse à la dame du Sénégal, juste pour avoir des clarifications sur ce qu'elle a présenté, et à savoir quelle est l'attitude du gouvernement sénégalais par rapport aux défis auxquels vous faites face. Est-ce qu'ils ont l'attitude comme le gouvernement éthiopien qui encourage ce genre d'initiative au niveau du pays, ou bien est-ce que vous les avez approchés? Merci beaucoup.
Any other question in the middle? Any other question here? No? Then we move to the right. Any question to the right? Yes, in the back? No? No questions? Okay, so let me add then 2 questions, and then we close. One is, so we saw from the presentation of John Olimanjo that FDI is going down. So what are you doing in your sector to be able to reverse that? You think FDI is important or not? And if so, what are you trying to do to reverse that situation? Or you think FDI is not important and therefore you need to work with local capitals? And the second question is, what role within your sector you think the government should play in terms of infrastructure? So what is lacking in terms of infrastructure, and what role you think the government should play? So let me go in the same order as before. So let me start in my right side. So Mokhtar, if you can start, please.
Okay. Merci. Je commence par la dernière, sur les infrastructures. J'avais commencé par dire 2 mots là-dessus. Je pense effectivement que nos États devraient donner un focus important à la construction d'infrastructures de base essentielles pour toute la chaîne de valeur agricole. Je pense notamment au transport, donc toutes les infrastructures routières, mais ferroviaires et aéroportuaires, doivent être renforcées, notamment autour des zones de production. Je pense qu'il est indispensable, quand on parle d'agriculture et surtout d'horticulture, donc de produits frais, d'avoir aussi des infrastructures pour le stockage et la conservation. Et cela manque beaucoup dans nos pays, pas suffisamment. Je donne juste un exemple. Le Sénégal, aujourd'hui, est un gros consommateur d'oignons et de pommes de terre. Nous avons techniquement la capacité à produire tout le volume de consommation annuelle nécessaire au Sénégal. La difficulté, c'est que les cycles de production sont très limités. On a 1 saison ou 2 maximum de culture, et donc il faut pouvoir stocker ces produits et les vendre progressivement à travers l'année, tout au long de l'année. Et cela pose évidemment le problème des conditions de stockage et de conservation. Il en manque drastiquement, ce qui fait que les produits sont vendus en l'état rapidement, et ça laisse une porte encore ouverte très grande aux importations pour ces 2 produits, mais c'est aussi valable pour tous les autres produits. Maintenant, sur la question du financement, je pense que beaucoup de choses sont en train d'être faites, d'être initiées, d'être tentées dans nos pays, surtout dans la microfinance. Au Sénégal en particulier, il y a beaucoup d'initiatives qui se mettent en place pour accompagner les producteurs, à côté des banques traditionnelles qui jusque-là, c'est un avis personnel, n'ont pas trouvé les réponses les plus appropriées pour accompagner, en tout cas les petits producteurs. Les grands agro-industriels, oui. Les petits producteurs, jusque-là, non. Donc, à travers la microfinance, il y a des initiatives et plein d'autres mécanismes sociaux que les populations elles-mêmes développent sur le plan local. Merci.
Théo.
Governments must create the space in which business can blossom. This is the most important function. And of course, you cannot expect from the people who want to develop businesses, especially in deep rural Africa, to put in the infrastructure. Although we have seen that agriculture has done very well in areas where, for example, mining has been developed, like in the southern and eastern parts of the DRC. Because where the mines go, they do not only tar the roads and bring electricity, but they also suck in a lot of local smallholders to earn wages better than what they did from eking out a living from the land. And those mines must then do production, food for their workers. And it commercializes farming in the area. So where the mines go, it's easier for the farmers to grow too. But then seldom do we find a proper communication between governments and farmers' organizations. If there was a fairy to land on my shoulder and give me one wish for the growth of agriculture, I would have wished for a more open debate between governments and organized agriculture on the topic of growing agriculture. What we have done ourselves was to try to develop, design financing models to replace land as collateral. It's easy to say more farmers should own their own land, and of course we would love to own our own land in Africa. In a very large part of Africa, socially and politically, it is just not possible to do that over the short term. And we cannot wait for that to happen before we get agricultural financing in place. Without that agricultural financing, without proper access to it, agriculture will not grow. So we have tried a few pilots with the Bill Gates Foundation, with the Southern African Trust, with the CTA, number of other donor organizations, such as value chain financing, financing of cooperatives, trying to bring in other methods of crop insurance. There's no way you can put your crop up as collateral without crop insurance. With mixed success, we are not where we want to be, but we have realized that governments are not going to do it for us. Farmers will have to do it for themselves.
So much, Theo. Nindia? You? No, we'll start with, continue with you and then. Okay. So, do you have a...
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, my sister from Ghana. You asked about why banks find it risky to get involved in agriculture, and what's EcoBank doing, and what's our percentage in that business. Well, one of the challenges of financing is that if you're looking at financing from a commercial bank used short-term deposits to do short-term transactions. The challenge will come, most of the agricultural transactions are long-term. If you're looking at it from a development financing angle, planting, reaping the crop, all that process, it takes a bit long. So ideally, no bank will actually get short-term investment to put it into a long-term project, because you can have it run on your bank, and it's not a good risk management practice. But what we do as EcoBank, at that level, we always partner with other institutions, development financial institutions that is their competence, who can wait for 25 years to get back their funds. What we do in the short term, we finance the normal things during the value chain, like the distribution. We do that. You find many of the SMEs are actually involved in some of these projects, either exporting coffee or the like. Those ones we do finance. But at the stage of what you're asking is more about getting, if I'm putting layman's language, putting the crop in the ground. Typically, commercial banks will get involved after it's out of the ground, because there's so many activities that are involved there which we do not have those competencies. And SMEs account for almost 70% of our business. And many of them are involved in this kind of activities, especially around produce dealing and the like. So it's a big part of our business in EcoBank.
Alors, pour essayer de répondre à votre question, n'étant pas une experte dans l'agriculture, je peux vous dire que l'État, à un moment donné, faisait beaucoup la promotion des produits locaux en termes de communication, mais c'est une action qui n'a jamais été dirigée vers nous, le secteur privé. Alors, cette synergie dont j'ai parlé tantôt, à savoir le secteur privé, les partenaires au développement et les politiques, aujourd'hui, cette synergie doit être initiée par le secteur privé à travers des projets. Et je pense que c'est cette stratégie que nous devons en ce moment adopter pour pouvoir sortir aujourd'hui le modèle que nous voulons à travers la distribution et la commercialisation des produits locaux. Je pense que c'est une initiative qui ne doit pas être laissée initiée par l'État, mais que le secteur privé doit initier. I just want to show something in 1 minute. Can I do it? Yes.
Okay, so go ahead, please.
Okay, I just want to show you the flyer we initiate for the Made in Senegal campaign for the promotion of local products. This is a flyer we developed for the micro enterprises to give visibility for the products, and we distribute all these flyers to consumers with the price and their branding and the product for visibility.
Okay, thank you very much to all the panel. Please join me in thanking them. So get free, we are on time now. So we have a coffee break, if I'm right. And then we come back at 4:50. We start at 4:50 sharp, please. Thank you.